hope you all are having a wonderful time at this year's summit. Our next guest is a specialist in the pet care industry. She specializes directly on letting us take care of our books. So it's something a lot of our pet care professionals tend to hide and want to not think about. So Virginia Gearhart is here to help us all out. Welcome, Virginia.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Thanks. So can you talk about why it is so important to keep note on your books in your pet care business?
Yes. So it is super important to just keep track of everything that's going on with your money so you can see exactly what's happening with it. So the first thing I want to talk about is keeping your personal and business expenses separate. This is something that is overlooked and often thought of not very important. But if you're trying to do your taxes or go over your financial information at all, and you're in the habit of commingling things, it's going to be super hard to sift through that information, and you might even accidentally claim a personal expense as a business expense or vice versa. So that's definitely something you want to avoid if you can.
Okay. Basically, you're saying don't use the same debit card as you would use for your personal and your business expenses.
Yes, exactly.
Do you have any tips for how they could potentially open up a business bank account or anything they need to do so? Is it a simple fix to do?
Yeah, definitely. You could, if you have a personal account, you could even see if that same bank has the ability to open a business account for you. And that makes it even easier because if you want to transfer money from one account to another, it's going to be really easy because it's with the same bank. And then that having a clear path of this money I took from my personal account and put it into my business account, and this money I took out of my business account and put into my personal account. So it's just a really clear path of what is going on with the money.
Okay, and that's like in your bank statement. So you have to print out your personal statements and see what's going on, and then also your business statements. You don't want to have Chick-fil-A lingering in business expense if you didn't go to Chick-fil-A for a meeting. So it's important to keep it separate.
Exactly.
Now, it sounds like those are a lot of numbers and a lot of transactions happening all month long. Like, how in the world do we keep track of this? So do you recommend a software, or is that necessary?
Yes, I definitely recommend using an accounting software. That is the best way to keep track of everything. It gives you the ability to break down all of those expenses and all of your income types into specific categories so you know exactly what's going on. And then also, if you're using an accounting software, it gives you the ability to run reports, and those reports will show you exactly where the money is coming and going from. And that's something that using Excel or just your bank statements isn't going to tell you. And then you can also connect your bank feeds, your bank account to those accounting softwares, and all your transactions will automatically load, and then you just have to organize them. So that cuts back on manual data entry quite a bit.
That sounds easy enough. So what you're basically saying is that you purchase your software, you connect it to your bank account, and then every time you make a transaction, it's going to automatically feed from your bank statement to your software, correct?
Yes.
Now, do you have like a favorite software that you recommend, or a few maybe that you research?
Yeah, definitely. My favorite is QuickBooks Online. I use that for all of my clients. If you're going to go the QuickBooks route, I recommend staying away from the self-employed version. And then there's another software that I've heard of and I've done a little bit of work in, and it's Wave, and that one's free. So if you're looking to cut back on expenses, that's a good one to use.
Okay, QuickBooks is pretty popular. We can do that. And now,
Yeah.
does that mean we can eliminate all of our paper receipts? Like, should we still keep track of that, like manually in a file drawer or whatnot, or do we not need paper receipts anymore?
So you want to have a good record of your receipts. If you don't want to keep them as paper, because I know a lot of people tend to just kind of throw them in a shoebox and forget about them. But then when you need to find it, it's this big old sea of receipts that you have to look for. So if you're using QuickBooks, you can download the app for free on your phone,
Okay.
and you can take pictures of your receipts, and they'll upload into QuickBooks for you and match to that expense. And so everything is all together in one place.
Nice, nice. I like organization. Now, when would be a good time to hire a bookkeeper? Is this something I need to make, 5,000 a month, 6 figures a year first, or should we get a bookkeeper involved from day one? What's your take on that?
It really just depends. If it's in the beginning and you feel like you can keep on top of things, then by all means do it and don't have that cost in the beginning. But if you find that you have no idea how to do it, you're not making the time to do it, definitely hire one before you get too far behind, because then it's going to cost you even more money to get caught up. It's going to be a giant headache trying to look through all of your information. And if you can avoid that, then definitely do. And there's also some bookkeepers that offer, and I do as well, they offer quarterly services. So if you can't afford to do it monthly, then they can come in every few months and take care of your stuff if you don't have a lot of money coming in and out.
Okay, sounds good. So speaking of that, as far as delegating and bringing partners into your business, what is something that a bookkeeper would do overall? If I decided to hire you and bring you into my service, what are some things that you all do in your business?
So we go over all of your daily transactions, organize them for you. And then we'll produce monthly reports for you that show you everything that happened, and help you keep an eye on it. I also go over the reports together with my clients. So we'll hop on a Zoom call together and I'll explain to them, this is what's going on with your money. This is what you need to be looking out for. And we can compare them from month to month and quarter to quarter. And it just helps you make sure that you never feel like you don't know what's going on with your money.
I do hear about that a lot, and I'm happy you said that. So there's a lot of people as well that say, oh, I hired a bookkeeper. I don't need to do anything else, like go back into the dark. So how involved would you recommend that your client and the bookkeeper's relationship as far as communication goes?
I would say to be checking in with each other at least once a month. You don't want to hire a bookkeeper and then never hear from them again, and all they're doing is sending you these reports, because if you don't know how to read the reports, it's not going to do you any good. You're just going to be in the same boat as you were before.
Good, good, good. I like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people see it like, I don't want to deal with this. So if I do hire someone, like, can I just run? No, you got to know your numbers. You have to
Yeah.
I always let everyone know all your business decisions are based on math. Okay. It's not like emotional decisions necessarily always. It's mathematic decisions. So can I hire someone? Can I do more branding? Can I outsource with an assistant? Can I hire a manager? A lot of these big decisions that we have to make in our pet business are based on the numbers. So knowing where you are at all times, you should know if you're up or if you're down or what you need to do to get there. But it's really important not to just kind of wake up and, look at your client schedule and that's the only thing that you do in your business. So I'm really happy that you talked about that. Speaking of which, what are some mistakes that people make, common bookkeeping mistakes, and how can they avoid or fix them?
Okay, so I'll just talk about the 3 that I'm seeing most commonly when I take over books. And one is that you're not reconciling your accounts. I know that's a big, scary word that you probably makes your eyes glaze over, but it's not as scary as it sounds. It's just the part of bookkeeping where you're taking your bank statement and you're double checking that with the transactions that loaded into your bank feed, because technology is not perfect. It does make mistakes, and there are times where transactions either get duplicated or they don't get put in your bank feed at all. So it's very important to be double checking on that. Another one is that you're using QuickBooks Self-Employed. The problem with that is that it doesn't have all the features that regular QuickBooks has. And so it doesn't let you make your own categories. So if you have an expense that doesn't fall within the categories they created, you have to put it under other. And that doesn't explain anything at all. Like, other means nothing.
All of anything other.
Yeah. And then it doesn't let you run a balance sheet, which is one of those reports you need to be checking on every month. And then it also doesn't let you reconcile your accounts, which I just talked about. So it's very important to have those features in any accounting software that you use. Okay. And then the last one is that I'm seeing loans and credit cards being accounted for incorrectly. The most common thing I'm seeing is that you're just putting them as an expense. You're taking that payment and just putting it as an expense and naming it credit card payment or loan payment. And that's not the correct way to do it. So we have to kind of think about what a loan is. A loan is money that you borrowed. So therefore it's a liability because you have to pay it back. So you have to have that loan balance in your books. And when you're categorizing your payments, you put it towards the loan, but then you also have to split it and put how much was interest and how much went towards the actual loan itself. So a lot of people miss the mark on that.
Can't do that. They just put the entire number in and let it go.
Yeah. And then credit cards, those are a little bit easier than loans. You can actually connect the credit card to the QuickBooks like you do your bank accounts, and it'll record it as a liability and it'll have that balance for you correctly. And then all those expenses that you make on the credit card will be counted as expenses in your business. And then it'll also put interest expenses in there, and that'll be in the feed. So
nice.
Yeah.
There's something that I usually see a lot in our Facebook group is when someone asks for advice and everybody kind of chimes in and gives like, you know, the qualified specialist advice, which obviously you're the specialist to do so. One thing I caught recently, someone saying is like, how do they itemize? Basically kind of what you were just saying just now. And they were like, oh, I just put it under marketing. Like, just put it under marketing. So why do you not want to mix your categories and misclassify what your expenses are?
You just really want a good, clear understanding of everything. And so if you're putting things that are both marketing and both job supplies in the same thing, that's not telling you anything. So, and it just helps you keep it helps you keep track of your budget. So you'll know, I spent a lot of money in advertising and marketing this month, but I didn't make any more money. So how is that doing me any good? And you could be like, maybe I need to explore different advertising options. So it just kind of helps you keep track of all of that. And if you're not putting them in the right categories, you're not getting the right numbers and you're not able to make those decisions to fix things.
So accuracy is important.
Mm-hmm.
Every category is important.
Yes.
I know you said to check in with your accountant maybe every month or so. Is that what you recommend as well, as far as checking on your just financial health of the business? Stay on it monthly or so?
Yes, definitely. Monthly at minimum. And the reason why I say monthly is because your bank statements come out once a month. So that's when you're able to reconcile. You can definitely check on it once a week if you want, but monthly at minimum for sure.
Is there an unhealthy financial check like every week? I mean, like every day, or like, is there an unhealthy obsession of your money?
Yeah, that probably wouldn't really do you any good. It's not going to help you get very much more information, especially if you only have like one transaction a day. It's not going to make that much of a difference if you wait a week to look at it.
I have a family member who does that. They check it all day. Like, last hour.
Yeah.
Really good. Really good. So if somebody were to hire your business, what is like step-by-step that you do to take on like a new client and some things that we should have prepared to sign up with you?
So I have contracts that I have my clients sign, and it just kind of goes over what I'm going to be doing for them. And it goes over just how much all of that is going to cost. And so you'll be signing those contracts. And I also have my clients set up on recurring payments for their monthly bill, so they don't have to remember to pay that bill, and it just automatically comes out for them. Also, you'll need to have a way for your bookkeeper to have access to your bank statements. Sometimes they just give the bookkeeper the logins they have for their bank. Sometimes they create a new login in their bank for them. And then if they feel more comfortable, others just send the statements, but you have to make sure you're staying on top of that because we can't accurately do your books without your statements.
And I think on QuickBooks, you can share with your accountant, like you can link them on.
Yes, absolutely. And then you do also give them access to your QuickBooks. You can add them as an accountant, and then that gives them the permission to take care of your books from there.
Cool. Speaking of accountants, now is a bookkeeper also an accountant, or do you need both, or is it the same thing?
So it's really common to think that if you have an accountant, you don't need a bookkeeper. but they actually do different things. So when it comes down to it, bookkeepers are the ones that handle your day-to-day transactions, will organize them for you, and give you your reports, and then your accountant will analyze those reports and then prepare your tax returns. So we kind of work together to take care of your business's financial health, kind of like doctors and nurses take care of your health. You definitely need both.
So if you hire an accountant and you hire a bookkeeper, you need them equally the same.
Yes.
Sounds good. I want to make that clear. You need both. The cook and the accounting person. Now, do bookkeepers give financial advice or, the movements of your money and what you should and shouldn't be doing based on your financial health?
Loosely. We don't really analyze all of that and do all of that. There are CFO bookkeepers that can go in and do a lot more of that advice and cash flow projecting, but just actual bookkeepers wouldn't be doing that, and you would have your accountant handle that information.
Sounds good. And then far as you, Virginia, I know you specialize in pet care. So what made you want to deal with us crazies?
So I'm a little bit crazy when it comes to pets too. I actually have 4 dogs, and I'm super surprised they haven't bombed this video yet, but and I've always had dogs growing up, and I really wanted to have a job in the pet industry when I grew up. But then I became a mom and decided I actually wanted to work from home. So I decided that instead I would help pet businesses. So that way I still kind of get to do what I wanted, but I've been able to shift since becoming a mom.
There you go. And if we needed to get in contact with you to talk further and get you on our books, how can we find you?
I'm mostly active on Facebook. I do a lot of my advertising through my personal page, but I also have a Facebook page. It's Gearhart Bookkeeping. So
Gearhart Bookkeeping. And is that the same as your email?
Yes. So Virginia at Gearhart Bookkeeping is my email.
Got you. And do you have a promotional offer to offer our summit guests if they decide to use you after this summit?
Yeah, I can give half off your first 2 months of bookkeeping if you would like to move forward with me.
Very nice. So if you are going into the end of the year and wondering what's happening with your books, you want to get Virginia on the line as soon as possible so you can get that wrapped up before the end of the year. Virginia, thank you so much for coming on. It has been an absolute pleasure. We can't wait to reconnect with you. If you would like to join our All Access membership group, we will have Virginia back in as a guest to kind of go deeper on bookkeeping and things of that nature. So thank you again, Virginia, and we will talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.